Hello, Sourcefed. Here's my video response, my contribution to your movie thing show. Let me begin by saying thank you, Steve Zaragoza, for finally picking a movie that I love. Not just a silly movie or a movie that's so bad that it's good, but a movie that I just love from start to finish. It is one of the best movies that I've ever seen, really, in the sci-fi genre. I put it right up against all the sci-fi greats because it is in a league of its own and makes its own rules and creates a future that pretty much is unique to all other sci-fi greats out there. And of course, we are talking about The Fifth Element. Written and directed by Luc Besson. I always love it when the same mind both conceived it on paper, wrote the story, and took the images that they had while creating the story and put it on the screen. So it's always a treat to see the same person writing and directing the film, and in this case it led to just great storytelling, great framing of each shot, great sequencing and pacing, moving the plot along, the montages of the sequencing of shot from the entire takeoff sequence to just getting on the plane to Flotsam Paradise and flying away and like getting it reloaded with fuel, and everything that's going on in that sequence, all the plot shit happening all at the same time virtually. It is just brilliantly done. All right, now visually stunning and brilliantly done, despite the fact that this movie has a very, very simple plot, doesn't it? Yeah. It has a very simple plot, and it's established like very, very early in the film. Every 5,000 years, good must fight evil. Every 5,000 years, there will be a big evil thing and a big good thing. And these things must fight. And if the evil thing wins, then we all die. And if the good thing wins, then we all live. So, very, very simple, good versus evil, standard storytelling I've seen a million times. But I've never seen it like this. And I imagine that most people who love movies, love sci-fi, and love a good versus evil fight, I imagine most people have never seen a movie like this. Most people watching it for the first time will say, I've never seen the future depicted in a way that's depicted here. New York is thousands of buildings that are thousands of stories tall because they all rise above this layer of pollution that's covered the earth. Okay, all cars are flying because there's no surface left on Earth. It's all just covered in pollution. And yet McDonald's has still survived, The human race has still survived. Early in the film, the president mentions that he's going to protect 200 billion of his citizens, So humans have survived well, but all of that will be destroyed if evil stands in the temple where the four stones create the elements and the thing. It's really a simple get Lilu to the temple on time kind of plot, okay? And in addition to it being well framed, well shot, well sequenced, well written, Luc Besson did a great job with casting too. He did a good job with choosing again, very standard characters. You kind of got a damsel in distress who's got to be where she has to be. In that she's kind of like a living MacGuffin in that sense. Lilu, played by Mila Jovovich, doing, I think, one of the best acting jobs that I've ever seen her do in her career. Okay, and then you have Bruce Willis playing a badass action hero protagonist, which of course he's got decades of experience doing, so of course he's awesome at it in this movie. And you have one of the greatest actors of our time, Gary Oldman, playing Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. And does a brilliant job. He has this plastic thing on his head. I could go on and on about the costumes too and how they create such a unique look to this film that I believe, I actually read the credits this time when I watched it. The costumer was Jean-Paul Gaultier, and he did a great job. And everyone who designed sets for the films did a great job because they created a world that virtually takes place 202 years from now. And it looks like an accurate depiction in that all notions of the here and now are gone. It is an entirely unique world, an entirely world that's like in its own league, that is created in its own style, in its own I guess I can just go on about so much about visual uniqueness, really. So that's really one of the best things about this film. That's what would just leave you stunned about this film. The story is fairly standard. The characters are fairly standard. And the fight scenes are, explosive when they finally get some fight scenes going. I've read somewhere online that when they're doing the fight in Floston Paradise, and everyone's always shooting, and they blow up. They ignite that one bomb by counting to 10, and it blows up in the lobby. That's the biggest indoor explosion ever filmed, and you can tell from how big it is when you see it. It's like everything has to be that big and that extraordinary and that awesome. The ships, the aliens, the makeup jobs, the costumes, a beautiful vision of a future filled with aliens and extraordinary new technology, all wrapped around a very simple, get-to-the-point plot. Evil must fight good, And the good guy must shoot a bunch of bad guys, yeah. And the bad guy is going to shoot who's ever in his way to get the stones. And twice he thinks he gets the stones but forgets to look in the box. That's just great comedy right there. And in addition to that, we have some of the greatest comic relief in the film coming from Chris Tucker playing Ruby Rod. And I can't say enough about his performance, really. He did an extraordinary job playing an over-the-top, effeminate radio DJ who wears dresses, okay? You can't describe his wardrobe any other way. He looks like he's wearing a low-cut dress with flowers on it, okay? Or a leopard print dress with that weird curly yellow thing in the front of his head, and screaming like a girl. And I think the funniest part is like when he flips his cane up over his shoulder and he knocks his stewardess in the head. You can see her in the background fall over behind him. That's just that had me laughing the first time I ever saw it. I still snicker whenever I see that. Just like, wow, that guy is that over the top that he doesn't even know he just clocked someone in the head. So, and, well, let's see. What else is there to say about this film? I mean, it's one of those films that just stands on its own as kind of a cult classic. Yeah, I forget if it did well in the theaters or if it ever, achieved its own popularity, but those who see it and can appreciate it will love it forever, and those who haven't seen it at all, should, and I'm almost guarantee will be visually stunned by it. And those who don't like it, I care not to try and understand such individuals, because it is a great film. It deserves its place as one of the sci-fi greats up there. I seriously put it up against Star Trek and Star Wars as extraordinary, unique visions of the future that it takes a unique mind to come up with, really. So, that all said, I would highly recommend this film. I would give this film, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this film a 9 easily. I would, and if I had to label, favorite moments in the film, it would be that, let's see, all the, action, virtually any scene where, Bruce Willis is shooting people, okay? Let's see, well, the Diva Dance is a beautiful song, but the fight scene that goes along with it is kind of cheesy, really. Because they're trying to make Mila Jovovich into just as awesome an action hero as Bruce Willis is, and nope, they kind of fail there. She's just not that good at doing a fight scene. Okay, but yeah, I would say those would be my favorites in the film. Almost everything that Gary Oldman says is just brilliant and memorable forever. When he talks about, I would say, one of my favorite lines is when he talks about how much he thinks down on warriors, because warriors fight for honor, and he would rather work with an assassin, because they're just cold-blooded and methodical, and just kill for money, and that's all there is to it. And yet, at the end, when he defuses his bomb, and the Mangalores activate their bomb, what do they say when they activate their bomb? They say, "For the honor!" And then he dies, and then you realize Zorg is going to get blown up too, for honor. Brilliantly done. I just love that moment in the film. And, I suppose can't say enough about this film. I hope you choose something just as awesome again next time. If you do, maybe I'll do another video response, and if not, well, we'll see as it goes. But anyway, that's my review on The Fifth Element. I think The Fifth Element is an awesome film. 9 out of 10. It's, it's got something for everyone, I suppose you could say. But this is the Legendary Goatee signing off. Thank you.